I'm just working through this activity of the weather record spreadsheet, just demonstrating some of the skills that we need. The next stage I'm up to is looking at some of the print options that we have. We look at the requirements for this activity, and the requirement is we're going to print out the data section of this spreadsheet here from cells A1 up here all the way down to the bottom, and we're going to print that in portrait with my name and date and file name in the footer, and we're going to make sure that we then go and print it in landscape with the footer as well, and then show the printouts to me. So what we're going to do is work our way through some print options. First thing we're going to do is go ahead and we're actually going to select the area that we want to print. So I've just highlighted that area, and I'm going to go to the File button up here, and I'm going to choose the Print option. Now that's where we find all the options that we have to work through. Now just sort of highlighting a few of these points here. And this is very standard across the Office products. We can choose what printer we want to print to, so that's a good option there. Keep in mind that you can also print to PDF, which is a really handy feature for sharing documents with people as well. We can choose to print the active sheets or the entire workbook. So where we have a multi-sheet spreadsheet, we can actually go and print everything in one go, or be really specific and only print one small section that we've highlighted. So that's always a good option. In this case, I'm just going to choose to print the selection. Now, we can have multiple pages, we can have collating. Now, this is the bit down here where we choose the orientation. I'm going to do the first one in portrait orientation. It's on A4 paper, and where I look at my margins here, I'm just going to choose narrow margins because I like to save paper. And at the moment it says no scaling, but this is the one where you go in, if you have quite a large spreadsheet that you need to fit on a page, a really good option for you is fit sheet on one page, that one just there. So I'm going to choose that one for now. I'm just going to jump across into my page setup section down the bottom down here. So page setup, and we're going to look at what options we have over here under that section. Now, when you look at it, you can see that because I chose Fit Sheet on one page, it's already updated that here in this Page tab. It says Fit to 1 page wide by 1 page tall. We could also go ahead and go through some of the other options that we have here as well. If we just wanted to get rid of the Fit to, you can see we can go back to 100% and we can scale it up and down as well. Again, we can change portrait and landscape right here. So these options here on the left are really updating those page setup options for us automatically. Under margins here, you'll see the margins have been adjusted because we chose narrow margins, and of course we could change that if we wanted to. A good feature down here is this option of centering on page. And just take note of this little selection in the middle here. If we choose to center that horizontally, it'll move it across sideways into the middle of the page, and then vertically, it'll put our work exactly in the middle. So you're going to see that, I'll just test that for you. You'll see how now in this sort of preview, you can see it's moved right to the center of the page. I'm going to go back to page setup. In this case, I'm going to go and put it back to centering horizontally, but not vertically. Under header and footer, this is where I put my footer in. So if I want to, I can have a custom footer. And in the center section, I can have my name. So there's my name, very poorly spelt, but I got that bit done. Now, over here, we can choose where we want to put content. But as we go through these options here, we've got some formatting options. You can insert a page number, and you can insert the number of pages. So if we had a multi-page job, we could choose that one, and then the word of, just type it in a space, and then choose that one. It would actually show page 1 of 3, for example, or 2 of 3. It would actually show that on a page-by-page basis. I'm just going to jump down one line, get underneath that. You can see the next one is down here is inserting the date. So if we choose that one, it puts the date in automatically, and there's your time function next to it. Now, the one we were looking for in the example, I believe, it wanted us to print that out with the name, date, and file name in the footer. So when we come across the file name, over here, you're going to see when we hover over some of these, it's going to give us options for what we want to put in there. So if we choose that one, it's going to give you the path and file name. Now that's a really good option because what it does, it links your printouts through to your electronic file storage system. You can see where those documents came from. So look, what I'd suggest is make sure you experiment with these features here because they're going to save you a lot of work. Going to choose OK, going to choose OK. Have a look over here. You can see the footer is already turned up, working well for me. and I've pretty much achieved what I wanted for that activity. So a few final tips for you. Remember, you can set some basic settings here, but it's when you go into page setup that you can then go and get quite serious and use a whole range of other features to make the job easier for you as well. Good luck with it.